Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors' past performance. It's not necessarily indicative of future results. Here we are. I guess I'm a little bit late. I'm sorry, guys. You know what? I was eating, and all of a sudden, I was like, oh, hey, you know what? I'm overtime. Need to get on there. So I finished up and ran over. Anyways, I guess it's been a long week, all right? It's been a long... This is the longest week in recent memory, for sure. Anyways, good number of people online too, so thank you guys for watching. Well, let us look at the charts. Boom. All right, so yesterday, the S&P 500 was extremely upset over Mr. Powell saying this is not necessarily the end of a cycle. This may just be a mid-cycle adjustment. And of course, that was always the case. And I think that the Federal Reserve did a good job of communicating that to the markets. But of course, the people over there in the E-mini never listen. And so they were quite upset to hear that maybe we might not reduce rates, 5 times or whatever it is that they want. Probably there will still be another rate decrease later this year in December, but it's very questionable if there will be 3 this year, in my opinion. So that is the E-mini. By the way, I kind of adjusted my charts. I hope you like that. I like the way that it looks. The built-in order flow charts are very, very nice and very quick. 10-year. So here on the 10-year, you can see we moved up on the initial news, and then when he started talking, we went way down. And then when he was almost done talking, he said something else and went way up. And then since then, we've been down again, but not quite as much. I don't know. That they look like they're going to test this 14. This naked point of control. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's not a naked point of control, but yesterday's point of control. When we look below us, there's 126.28 way down there. There's also 126.31. But I am still of the opinion that we shouldn't be above 127. So I don't know what else to say there. Here we are in ZB. ZB was not quite as volatile, right? They just were up, but they didn't come down back nearly as much. The 5-year, though, the 5-year. So, given that the move was much more dramatic in the 5 and the 10-year, that kind of indicates to us that the market views these changes as very short-term in nature. So I think that the bond market knew what was going on all along. By the way, here, this is the 2 and 10-year spread. You can see that it is going down. They are flattening again today, which is bad for banks, by the way. Knob also down. So everything flattened. Yeah. So that's what we got in here on the open. Pretty tight. Well, let's go in here. I need to change some things. Oh yes, we need to change this over here. Indicators. Here's the ZF export levels. And we should change that to ZF jigsaw.csv. Okay. Make sure that it went through. It did. Okay, so then this one, load levels, browse, documents, NinjaTrader 8, ZF jigsaw. Open. So clear, load. Thank you. Thank you. CB. CB also did not load. What is wrong with you, CB? Well, I like that that chart reloads so quickly. What is wrong? There must be something wrong with my indicator because it's not reloading quite the way that it should. Oh, no, wait, that one. That one, I think it did. S, POC, VPOC, previous low. Yeah. Because we're lower than we were yesterday, right? No, the previous low is way down at 57. It's not there. Oh, no, wait, sorry. This side. 57. Oh, do I not have it on that chart or something? What's wrong? Yeah. That's what it is. Okay. Now I can load it. Aha. Aha. Okay. Cool. We're all good. It's good. It's good. Okay. 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 And Bitcoin still into the 10,000 level. Okay. Put that over here. All right. By the way, I don't think I said good morning to you, Uzi. Good morning. Today is going to be a tough day, I think. Well, so we just got the news, right? Didn't really see a whole ton of movement off of the news, but we got 215 versus 214 expected on the jobless claims. Curious. And was that the only news that we had? Yeah, just unemployment claims. But we do have final manufacturing PMI and ISM manufacturing PMI at 8 o'clock. So I think things might be really slow here to start with. But we can, we can chat. We can chat about the debate. We can chat about Andrew Yang. Not seeing a ton of activity, really. I've kind of learned that when I'm looking at my chart over here, when I'm not seeing the big orders, that's probably not a good time to be trading. So I think that's great. Yeah, great thing to know. Great help, rather. Let's get our chair all fixed here. What else we got here? Well, let's make sure we didn't miss anything on Twitter. Tehran and Abu Dhabi signed memorandum of understanding to enhance security cooperation at common border. Peter Schiff, either Powell is lying or he's a complete idiot. What? either he is lying or he's a complete idiot, and I tend to believe it's the former. And the reason he's lying is because if he told the truth, he would scare the shit out of the markets. It doesn't have a lot of ammunition to cut rates, and so I think we'll go to zero relatively quickly, and we'll stay there until the Fed completely loses control of this thing. I don't know. That's a little alarmist. Don't you think? Well, it's zero hedge. You can expect them to be a little alarmist. Speaking of alarmist, did you hear what Andrew Yang said last night? This is the big thing. I mean, when it happened and he said it on stream, I was kind of like, but afterwards, I kind of started looking into it. He's crazy. Okay, he said that the whole thing on climate change doesn't really matter because that's Schiff's job, though. Right? No. That was funny, is he? No. He said, climate change, we're all doomed, and you guys need to move because you're all going to be underwater. That's what he said. So I'm sitting there like, oh man, if you live at sea level, New York, all these places, you better move because it's over. It's already too late. It's already too late, folks. That's what he said. So I started looking into it and how much are sea levels to rise? And it's basically over the next 100 years, it's 10 inches. Right? So like, you don't need to leave New York. And that's the estimate. Like you remember, that's the estimate, right? And these kinds of models, that kind of a model that, I mean, it seems like their estimate of degree change has been pretty consistent over time, at least over the last 30 years. I don't know if it's going to be consistent over the next 100 years, but, models tend to be wrong. But then to say that we can predict how much sea levels will rise, we really don't have enough data to really say how accurate of an assessment that is. And there are so many variables involved. That kind of a prediction, usually not very accurate. I think that people need to be aware about the limitations of models. You know what I mean? But they say 10 inches. Okay, so like that's not that big of a deal. Dan Perna said. What did Dan Perna say about sea level rises? Good morning, Ron. How's it going? Did you have a good day yesterday? How did you guys do yesterday, by the way? Let's hear. Isn't there an application online that lets you see sea level rise map? Interactive map of coastal flooding impacts from sea level rise. Click here to access. View sea level rise and potential coastal flooding. Impact areas and relative depth. Okay, get started. All right, so what is this? Meters. Okay, that's cool. I can only do 1 foot, huh? Okay, well, and 1 foot. And 1 foot, how is New York affected, huh? Yeah, not too much. It's not too bad. They're just kind of... So what does this mean? Sea level rise, marsh migration, vulnerability, high tide. So I think it's saying that all of this area is potentially at risk. Oh no, Uzi. I don't think it looks very good for you down in Florida. I don't know, you might have to move, Uzi. Dan Penn, there's a video of a talk he gave on YouTube talking about how banks, lenders, and investors wouldn't do business on coasts or in countries that climate alarmists say would be underwater. Exactly. That's exactly what was my thought. Is like if there really is going to be 10-inch rise in the sea level, no matter what, and this is going to put everybody underwater, then everybody would be moving. It is hysteria. Is what it is. It's hysteria. Given that the entire property being underwater in a decade wouldn't make a good investment. I short NQ, all of it break even on TU, okay? Well, there's 14. There's previous day's point of control, so I don't know what's going to happen here. So here's my problem with today. A break from climate change for a second. It's the first, right? And on the first, we tend to move up. But I kind of feel like we're too high. And I kind of feel like that yesterday's meeting says that we should be a little bit tighter than we are. It's really hard for me to predict where we are. But we have the PMI, so it doesn't matter. I don't think we should take any trades. Anyways, okay. They've been telling us Florida is going to be underwater since I've been alive. Really? Man. Well, I don't think that this map is very good. I think we could find a better map. Let's try and find a better map, huh? Sea level rise map. That's what I just saw was the NOAA surging risk zone map. My climate central. Okay, here we go. 5 feet. Okay, but it's only going to rise by a foot, buddy. And I love that they're giving us Manhattan. All right. This map doesn't seem terribly useful either. Oh, cool. So it kind of gives us a show current coast. And then show 1 foot. No big deal. No big deal. No big deal, guys. You notice that this is one I find funny is that the number that I was given, maybe I need to double check this, but the number that people were citing on Reddit was 10 inches. 10 inches in the next 100 years. 10 inches, 100 years. I've looked at 2 different maps here. Neither of them goes under a foot. Neither of them goes under a foot. Let's look at this one. Map any global coastal place. Florida. I want to see Florida. Well, this one doesn't even let me see. Doesn't even let me. This is the same map. It's the same map. Use these tools to visualize the horror of rising sea levels. Here's the USUCA. I would like something that uses Google Maps. That'd be nice. When sea levels attack. 1 meter, Venice, Amsterdam. This is the same map. The same map. The Union of Concerned Scientists. I've been through dozens of hurricanes. Every time one comes through, it's the end of the planet. I also work disaster relief with the Florida National Guard and know 4 people grossly overestimate this stuff, and it doesn't really hit you until you're going out. Ice, water, and MREs to people on their way home from grocery shopping at Walmart. Oh, that's my... I remember when I was a missionary when Katrina hit, and it was, yeah, that was awful. I met so many people in Missouri that had left New Orleans. And New Orleans is screwed, right? Well, these people, homes at risk of inundation in 2045, high sea level rise situation. Okay, so this one does not let me pick. They just tell me. Seems like the people that are most affected are the areas that least believe in climate change. Oh, we moved up there. There was an event at the top of that when they broke out. That's kind of interesting. Flood maps. Okay, sea level rise. 1 meter. Yeah. I mean, I suppose if you live out in the Keys, you might be in trouble. According to the estimates, folks. How does this the way that this map works is kind of a little unclear. Show me satellite. Ooh, that's cool. 50 meters. Oh, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now Florida's gone. I think they said that in the dinosaur era, sea level was 30 meters higher. Look at that. Look at that go. Well, I tell you what, that was a good run. I could hear it clicking, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? I wonder why they moved up like that. Is there something on Twitter? White House Security Advisor Bolton, Trump open to Iran talks. Iran doesn't want to talk. Is that why we're moving up? Anyways, enough of that. Huh. The Fed rate cut tool has changed quite a bit, but they're still kind of saying we'll get 2 rate cuts this year, according to Twitter. Not sure what to think of this move right here. Kind of feels like it's coming out of nowhere. As he says, he's not long yet. New Orleans has less to worry about rising sea level than they do existing so far below sea level to begin with, right? Oh, you're saying 156.06 is target in ZB. I don't know. Because I don't understand why it's moving, and I think that I must stick with my plan for now. Unless I see a really good short opportunity. This is kind of one of those places where I might try and go with it, and it comes back in my face, and I don't know. I'm not really seeing large orders go with it. I'm skeptical about this move. It seems a little bizarre. What is the currencies are moving? The 6J is moving up. 6J is definitely what's moving us. Wrong says my stop loss saved me yesterday. Lucas told us that he had trouble yesterday too. I did okay yesterday, but mostly because I caught a one right off of the announcement. And then I did try taking a few trades during the chop, but none of them really worked out. It just took a little bit on them, or there was one that really didn't work out because I misread some of the action that I was seeing. It was actually the the options close, and I didn't realize that it was that time. So I took a trade, and then they moved up against me. I'm like, what the heck? Where's all this volume coming from? Whoa! Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah, I felt them. Well, IQ is long at 31. Decent amount of volume trading at 17. Oh my gosh, my stomach is moving and it hurts. Ugh. What the hell? John McAfee. Young men always asking my advice. Here it is. Wait until you are 40 to consider marriage. Never give a woman your real name. Stay out of jail as much as possible. Follow your heart. Okay. That man really is crazy. Okay, so there was a little uptick. That was a 20 tick upswing. Well, 6J is just hitting the open price. So we are at a spot where it makes sense to pause at the very least. Hmm. Yeah, post here this chart on Twitter. Clink. Cannot tweet. There we go. Uzi says I want to see 27 to 28 actually hold for upside. Well, they've stuck around there at 17 quite a bit in the 10-year, haven't they? It has been a 4-tick pullback though. Economists who predicted the rate cut are now utterly confused about what the Fed does next, is the top headline on CNBC, and a couple of Forex Live is saying expect the Fed communication team to come out and try and clean things up. You know what I think? I think you have what was essentially the most highly anticipated Federal Reserve meeting, like ever, that I've ever seen, at least. People want to make a trade. Wouldn't have mattered what he said. What happened yesterday would have been nonsensical because they want to trade it. I wouldn't be surprised to see like this fall on the E-mini just completely retraced today or over, the next week. Because I really don't think he said anything that changes the outlook. And the thing is, he's not going to say like, oh, the economy's falling apart. We need to just, if he said that, everybody would freak out. So. See, my problem here is there's no way for me to know if the 6J continues or not. I suppose that when we came out, if we really knew that the 6J correlation was strong and that they were moving, we could have taken that long, but I think it was probably better to wait. And especially now that we're getting to the top of the hour, I guess another thing is that we do tend to buy on the first day of the month. Are they going to go for a new high? Well, I am seeing some bid activity in the 30-year now. So my AC turning on because that's good, because it's getting hot in here for some reason. I wonder. Let me check the vent here. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. It's felt particularly hot in here lately, though. Wonder, is my key light 55? Huh. I don't know. Whatever. Well, they did make a new high there, but it was kind of not very much. think it might be soon time for either a new microphone or a new headphone cord, because it seems to me like the plug on this is going out. There's that bunny. You want to make sure 27 to 28 actually holds for upside. How do you do this? Well, I think you sit and watch and make sure that it just doesn't go below 28. I think the fact that we went up and pushed higher means that that comment might not necessarily be relevant anymore. I'm getting an event here. I'm too late. Hey, good morning, Ace. We're going to make another amazing call in the E-mini again today. Oh, that thing still kind of scares me. I feel like we should move up, but let's see what he says. Okay, I like the way that happened so far. It's going back and forth there a lot. So far, the 6J hasn't stopped. He says go short 29.8225. Right there. Why there? We need a little bit of short momentum first, I guess. Well, I'll try it, right? Okay. Click. Oh, you guys can't hear those. Let me turn those on. There you go. It's kind of weird hearing that sound and thinking, I created that sound. So it doesn't sound synthetic, does it? It sounds like a marble hitting something. John Grady tweeting, be careful this morning. Volume is trading, but there is a ton of spoofing and auto orders adding and canceling. It's going to be choppy for a bit, probably. May settle into some heavier bid/offers later. So I wonder how he sees that. But he's right. I see that in my indications that the big orders the things holding aren't necessarily there. And that the main reason we moved was because of correlations. ZB made first swing high at 02, wait for pullback, pulled back to 29, 29 held, close enough, more upside followed, new swing high at 03. Okay. Well, that kind of looked to me like that's all you get. Oh, and then there wasn't much more upside, but it's technically more. I might be making the wrong choice there, but it just looks like it's going sideways. He says I'm out. Sorry. It's okay. We're just testing it. So I wonder what you saw there that changed things. I'm wondering if I can get like $1 out of it or something. Sure. Good deal. You know what I think we should do? You know what? It's not, for some reason, it's not. Oh, here's my positions window. Here we go. Okay. So, if, I don't want to show which account is there. Column chooser. Well, actually, I can do that. We just need to make it like super tiny. Okay. But I want to show like the whole week. And then we only show, do I need to filter it? Yes, I do. Filter, editor. Instrument begins with a Z. There we go. Okay. So let's change this to say 250 for the week. How about that? Cool. I do have an 06 target, not much left to go. Of course, it could always get pounded by sellers here, but always helps to have a goal and a bailout plan. Well, it seems to me that buyers overextended here at 18, and they pulled back, but it did not cause a larger flush. For us to be back up above there, then I got a tick. Maybe I could have gotten 2 ticks, but I think I played that really well. Would have been nice if I had gotten 2 ticks out of it. Actually says that I never did. I only got 1 tick out of it. I never got the second favorable tick. So there you go. So I think we just wait, but that 6J has not like turned yet. If the 6J turns, then it could be a violent turn. You know? The other currencies are going down. It's only the 6J that's up. And so I'd have to guess that 6J is probably a good guess as to why, or sorry, that Iran is probably a good guess as to why the 6J is moving, rather. That one was kind of weird. I had a thought. I was like, okay, here's the thought. I'm going to start talking. And then in the middle of talking, I started reading something else and I completely forgot what I was doing, but I kept talking. And then I was like, wait, I didn't say that right. I had to go back, remember what I was talking about. I'm honestly kind of I feel the desire to distract myself right now. I just don't like this action. It seems pretty choppy and flaky to me. You see here some of these pulls without... The market doesn't seem to be very... I have to say, John Grady has a good eye. Because he's saying there's a lot of spoofing and auto orders. Adding and canceling going to be choppy for a bit. Probably may settle into some heavier bids slash offers later. And that matches up exactly with what I feel like we're seeing. But we can see it because, I have, fancy indicators designed specifically to catch that sort of a thing. And he just watching it and can tell. I don't think that I would have noticed that. Was it 29, 82, 25? You're right. It did go down. Okay, well. You know what? It just doesn't, it's not really moving. They are selling. There is a bigger sell there. How did you see that? I mean, so a question. That fall down in cumulative delta, is that kind of what you were expecting? Or was it just kind of a coincidence that they sold it down as hard as they did? Fancy pants. Yeah. My target is 08/10 in ZB. 03 is a retrace on 60-minute chart from IQ. Well, it's still moving up. Previous high? Is that correct? It is. That would be quite hilarious if they went and pushed it above the previous day's high. Where is it in ZB? They're above the previous high in ZB. He just says, my CME guy is back from vacation and he sent me a text. Man. Biden has finished off Gillibrand and has done a service to his country from the all abundant. That's funny. $250, nice. Well, that's for the whole week, Lucas. But for the whole week, yeah, 16 ticks is pretty good for me, isn't it? I'd have to say that my whole adjustment is extremely encouraging. It's from his paper route. I don't know if that's just a joke about a paper route or if it's a joke that it was on sale, because it was on sale. Dojo, okay. Went to a local debate watch party at the bar. As candidates were introduced, people were applauding, but when Gillibrand was introduced, there was nearly unanimous booing. Really? That's interesting. I'm surprised that anybody actually cares enough about Gillibrand to even know to boo. That is, but she did help out. She did help out last night. She had some good attacks on Biden. She had some good attacks on Harris. I thought it was weird. Yeah, that's weird. Where was that at? Is that an area where like they, close to her, where they would know or have some sort of special animus against her? Am I saying that right? DC. Okay. That makes it doubly weird. Gillibrand is a girl. Yeah. What's her name? What's her first name? Kirsten Gillibrand. Born in New York, and she is the senator from New York. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So maybe some New Yorkers that don't like her or something. I mean, the thing is that Gillibrand is kind of like I don't want to call her. She's not like running as a moderate in this race by any means, but she is definitely like a part of the Uniparty per se, and so the liberal activists are, they don't like her. Like if she was in Biden's spot right now, they would really be hating her. I have to say, when my feelings about the debate has changed a little bit from where I was last night. I think last night, to be honest, that was really boring. That was really boring, and I guess it was because streamed in the morning like normal, and then we streamed the FOMC, and then we streamed the debate, and I streamed for like 5 hours, 6 hours yesterday. Too much. It's too much. And so that was maybe part of it. But anyways, I was just like, oh, this is so boring. But then when I start going back and I look at it, and I'm kind of like, this debate was not really very good for anybody. Okay? Because like Joe Biden, he took a lot of hits. I don't think that it really changes anything for him. But they really piled on him. So it's kind of like it's bad for Biden, but it's kind of also bad for everybody else because it's not really going to hurt Biden. But then Harris really got taken down. I honestly think because I was starting to think that maybe Harris would run away with it, because she was strong in the debates, and she's a good attacker, and she has some demographics in her favor, and all of that sort of a thing. But that takedown yesterday, she was like a deer in the headlights. The one that stood out to me the most was when Tulsi Gabbard went after her, and Tulsi said, you arrested and were so overly aggressive in prosecuting marijuana possession cases, and then when they asked you if you had ever smoked marijuana, you joked about it. And I thought the way that Tulsi said that, and her wording, I thought it really hit hard. It really stood out to me. But then Harris's response was completely ineffective. She didn't admit that she was, she didn't admit anything that was, all of those things were true, and she basically didn't address any of the actual criticisms. It was just ZB high 05, you killing me, small ZB is for you rich folks. Right? I don't know, Ace, you can do if you could get as reliable of a trade in ZB as you get in ES, it would be very, very minimal risk. But I still don't quite get how he does it. It's such a good trade, though. It was a good call. Now this move up, the thing here is that there's nothing in Treasuries pushing it. You look at the volume, there's nothing unusual about any of the volume or the bids or anything. It's literally just moving up because the 6J is moving up. And I have no clue why the 6J is moving up the way that it is. And with the currencies, while we're going to get up, there's still a bit more to go until they get to yesterday's high in the 6J. But then what happens? I don't know. So this could keep going. We'll just see. But probably the better option is to just wait until the PMI numbers come in and for all of that to blow over. That would be a much higher probability trade for me, at least. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so one of the things that I liked about Harris was that she had done well in the debates, and she seemed like a sharp girl. And seeing her get taken down in the debates like that, it was like my entire thesis was just demolished. You know what I mean? So, and the funny thing is that if Harris is out, we'll see how much she falls in the polls. But if she's out, then who takes her place? It almost certainly has to be Castro. Almost certainly. And if you put Castro in that position, you have somebody that may well run away with it. It's kind of interesting. So anyways, that's kind of how I feel about the debate yesterday. But then almost everything else was like negative. Like Andrew Yang, okay, he seems to have done better. I don't think that he had nearly as many of his awkward moments. His stage presence was a lot better. The way that he said things was better. But then he came out and he said that thing about that everybody should move because you're all going to be underwater. That was crazy. It's not supported by science. It was alarmist. It was like mass hysteria nonsense. Many people are like, oh, he's right though. But the fact checkers are going to come out today and are just going to eviscerate him. Okay. 10 inches does not, people are going to have to mitigate damage and stuff, but you don't have millions of people in the United States that need to move or they're going to die or something like that, It's just ridiculous. I think that's going to really hurt him. He'll make it into the next debate, but he's not going to be president. Who else? I think that's pretty much it. And I feel bad for Tulsi because I think that Tulsi really adds a lot to the debate, just her being there, even though she doesn't stand a chance. But it doesn't look like she has enough support that she's not going to make it into the next debate, which is unfortunate. She should have attacked, Harris like that much earlier. If she had had a moment like that in the first debate, maybe there could be something. But anyways, there was a block order in the 10-year earlier and indexes going down. Was there a block order in the 10-year? I didn't quite see. I didn't see anything too unusual, just a couple of 1,500 orders. I'm not even actually getting the clicks anymore. Let's just refresh this. It seems like that the big guys just aren't. They've like turned it off. Holy smokes, I just realized how dark it is outside. It's going to rain. Oh, so what happened to me yesterday? While we were doing the debate stream, there was like a huge windstorm. And I didn't even notice. So I come out and I go into the backyard and I'm like, why is this plant on the ground? Why is there stuff strewn across the yard? What the heck is going on? Oh, okay, there's something just happened. There's a bunch of pulling. We've seen this at this time of day before. Just a bunch of asks pulled and moved. No, they pulled them all and then they put them all back. How far from a sanctuary? Sun City Center. What is a Sun City Center? Oh, what is Sun City? Is that Orlando? Ten-year Treasury yield plunges below 2% as curve collapses. This is the zero hedge story right now. Yeah, you're getting a real event here that seems to suggest that we might move down. But I would be really suspicious about it because a lot of it was because of really big orders pulling and putting back on. It might mean nothing in or just before the E-mini opens, so who knows what that's going to do.
Block sell.
Okay. Block sell at 19 didn't even budge. Ooh, the air conditioning is coming in. It feels so good. Much cooler now. That was a pretty big iceberg. The block sell at 19 and they just, man. I wonder why they sold it there like that. That seems to me, I mean, the move up has been driven by the 6J. And the 6J at the moment is not showing signs of turning around yet. So why would you make a sell like that? Right? They're going to hold it because they have every reason to, because of the spread between the 10-year and 6J. And then, yeah, he sells it in there. Of course, he's going to puke it. Fortunately, it's probably not enough for us to really make much money off of it. But now, the 6J could be getting close, though. So I say stay frosty. This is a pretty solid uptick there, too. Okay, here comes the E-mini. Quite a bit of noise. Ooh, wanted to see 06 was your target, huh? Well, I don't know. I think it could do it. It might have been a little stop here, though. Hmm. None of us know that's why I cheer it on, right? I think that was a short there, but it's way too late to try and take it. I think that there's a little bit too much going in here to have made a trade on that one, even if we wanted to around the E-mini open. Oh my. It's going to take down again. Are they going to not touch it? Lewis Alred in the 5-year. The thing about L6 in my mind is, as a target, it's also a logical place for a downturn, yeah. Or at least for them to yank your chain, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you want '06? Oh, no, oh, you almost had it. You almost had it. And then as soon as you stop out, they go up and touch it. You know, is that sort of a thing. They always do that sort of a thing. Especially in a situation like this where it doesn't look like there's any fundamental reason for them to be moving it right now other than the 6J, and who knows why that's moving the way that it is. Okay. So they got even just a tiny bit of a sell, and all of a sudden you're getting a ton of buying in the treasuries. Tiny bit of a sell in the E-mini. $117.18. You saying that that's where you're long from? That's where you're long from then. Good job, bro. That's a really good trade. See, they're pumping it. They're not getting a whole lot out of it. I suspect that we might turn here soon. The 6J is starting to give okay, so there's the E-mini going back up. Still kind of looks like buyers want it higher. Yeah. Well, look, here's a spike. Here's a spike. Here's kind of a spike. Here's kind of a spike. Overall interest is pretty high here. You're still not seeing big orders participate though. So I think what is happening is you've got a ton of people trading here for no real reason, and there's a really good chance that one side gets caught. And it's probably more likely, unless the 6J decides to make another big move, but the 6J looks like it's starting to turn down. And the E-mini is moving back up, which might mean Treasuries move lower. We'll see. But there's been a little bit of the inverse correlation has come back a little bit after the initial move yesterday. And so I'm wondering if it's going to turn lower here. If it can give me, okay. In terms of selling, I'd be concerned with the flush up through 06. Yeah, totally. Oh, totally. But it's giving me, it's given the spot right here. So it's a signal for sure. It's a question of if it's a reversal or not. I suppose that the bet I'm making here is that the 6J is going to win out. Okay, well, there was an uptick. That shouldn't happen. Not the way that did, at least. There is the 06. Oh, there's the 4700 right there, and I think that's what I want. Okay. So I guess suppose another thing we need to be concerned about is 22.5 in the 10-year, the previous high. A level that they're going to want to try and beat. But if they don't beat, could really turn the volume around short. Hmm. Don't have any levels above 06. Okay, there's a good down tick. Didn't hold. Any reason why ZB is rallying? $40 move in ZB, was it? And the swings were like sixes. Yeah, that was our sell, and we didn't get anything out of it. That's, jeez. ZN seems nervous. Something's going on there. Looks to me like more like people out of position though. All right, good deal. I still think that they could turn somewhere in here, but I think that I need to be more patient. Like, when the markets are as active as this, it seems like they go through more. So, and in that one, I did get the downtick, but it was over. So I think that one I just didn't get out fast enough. You can see the volume that they're trading here. It's imbalanced. Yeah, and we have PMI in 5 minutes. Good point. Well, there's that PMI, and then there's another PMI at the top of the hour. So I just don't understand the macro rationale behind it, though. I don't think anybody does. Are any of you guys taking vacations on August? I mean, I'll still be here for the most part. But yeah, trading in August tends to be pretty shitty because everybody goes on vacation. And I really think that what you're going to see is once the market sorts out this big mess that we got with the FOMC, yeah, it could be quiet for a while until the fall starts. The most pointless rate cut in Fed history, if you say so. Seems to me that the most pointless Fed rate cut in history it would make complete sense for it to come after the most pointless Fed rate raise in history. No? Drops below 2% for first time since July 5. Higher time frame trying to take part at 06. This is probably a crazy trade, but it's a crazy move. Thank you. Thank you. Get down. Oh, I'm loving it. No, don't stop there. You got more. You got more in you. That was a spoof at 06 and the seller got screwed. Here's the thing. Look at my thing. We're still not seeing very many large bid and asks being placed. Still. Okay, but that was the move. PMI was 50 spot 4 versus an expected 50. So it was in line, basically. Seems to me like I'm in this situation again. Oh, there's Win. The situation being, I take a trade, it's good, I got a few ticks, and then we go into a zipper. Now, the last 2 or 3 of these, they continued through on the zipper. This one, it actually looks like they might reverse on me. Well, let's see. Trade talks with China will resume in September. Word on the street is that Mnuchin has the ear of the Chinese and not Lighthouser. Well, what was I reading? Earlier there was some stuff with Iran and stuff, and then we started seeing the 6J move. I think that might be part of what's going on right now. Oh, I can't believe that I didn't. That was way too fast. Like, that was a great trade. I think that the trade is already over. But maybe now we'll get a second leg, so I don't know if it's worth staying in or not. It looks like the E-mini is making a good recovery. Unsure what that means for treasuries, or if the 6J is going to turn. They had a much more significant pullback in the 6J, but now it's going higher again. And the E-mini's just chugging along. Even get a downtick in the treasuries though, and they react to it. That's funny. There's a real push and pull going on between these two. I'm not sure that you could really make money off of it. It's kind of more frustrating more than anything, but I ran some numbers and my guess is I could retire before the end of next year and be my own boss as well. Oh, there you go. That would be great. The contracts for the F-16s is on hold while the contracts for tanks will push through. Tank humor are interesting. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in this market, but when I look at the price action this morning, the thing that the DOM seems to be suggesting to me is that it's just moving because it's moving. I don't necessarily see strong evidence of funds making, big bets here. You're not seeing the big numbers. It's just like auto trades and stuff. I know that's crazy to say considering how big of a move up we had, but okay, so that was a significant stack on the bid there at 25.5 to hold that. But we don't have to worry about that stuff though, right? Well, which particular stuff? The stuff that Wynn's talking about? Damn. Hmm. That was weird. Did you see though that the tick up at 23.5 was on nothing? PMI falls the lowest since September 2009. The jobs report will be published tomorrow. Well, yeah, you're right. But I mean, we just look at so I go to forexfactory.com is where I go, and they have all of the numbers and what the estimates are. So, tomorrow we're looking for an average hourly earnings of spot 2%, non-farm employment change of 164, and the unemployment range 3.6. So for us, that average hourly earnings number tends to be the one that matters. If it's more than spot 2, that could really upset the market. Mm-mm-mm. There's a good amount of buying there at 23.5, holding it. That is not where you want to be. It will show whether the Fed was right about cutting and whether the cut was precise enough. Uh, well, I mean, the thing is that the Fed is cutting, I think, large. If you look at the manufacturing data for Germany, for instance, it suggests that the German economy is already in recession. I mean, the global weakness is already there and just starting, and that's why they're cutting. It's a hedge, and I don't think I think that the situation it's already appropriate for a quarter of a point cut, especially since they probably shouldn't have raised in December. You know, uh, I kind of feel like this market is just being a little irrational. Everybody wants to, because something happened. Everybody feels the desire to do something when it doesn't really seem to me like anything is much different from the way it was on Monday. Consumers are spending on goods and services. What is decoupling? I'm not sure what you mean by decoupling, but it's true that the economic numbers, particularly the ones that have to do with consumption, are were all surprised to the upside this month. They seem to really want to hold that 23.5 for some reason. I suppose that was like resistance before, is now support. But we'll see if they can hold it or not. I mean, it's just ranging right there right now. And you're getting that iceberg at 25 in the 5 year. They might finally bust it though. Come on. Do it. The overall assessment of the economy is that it's not working well for all comments, and so the thing that I see here, this is a long pontification coming on here. I don't know if I should start it while I'm still in a position and I'm nervous. I feel nervous. I'm mad because the initial trade was great. I should have been able to take profits and it just came up too fast. It given me another one here, but I would like to have been in at 24 on that one. So I digress. So the thing that I see in the economy today is that we live in a world that is so prosperous that we literally have nothing to compare it to. We literally have nothing to compare it to. Like just consider the 2008 crisis was really bad. It was really bad in relative terms, and yet, it was down for a year. Everything kind of evened out. We're okay now. We need to get out of this because the news. So that sucks, but okay. Anyways, we have nothing to compare it to. So what happens is you have all of these millennials coming in, these people that are like in their mid-20s now, right? They've literally seen nothing else but this economy. And they think, I should be doing better than I am. But the problem is, they literally have nothing else to compare it to. So how can they say that things aren't so bad? I mean, like, good grief. You're posting that from your iPhone? Listen, if you're on the internet yapping about how awful the economy is and you're doing it from an iPhone, you're full of shit. No joke. Those iPhones, they are really expensive. When I was a kid in the 90s, I would kill people to have an iPhone. Like, that kind of technology is mind-blowing. Like $1,000 phone, guys. That's $1,000 phone. You're posting this stuff from $1,000 phone. Oh, the economy is so awful. You're full of shit. Just saying. So when I read comments on the internet like that, I would take it with a grain of salt. The kids, they're mostly kids. They don't really know what's going on. We need to do something here. Oh, that's no good. I don't think I've ever had one of those go so badly. Okay, what was the number? 51 spot 2 versus an expected 52. It wasn't that bad. Construction spending. Spot 5. Manufacturing prices was 45 spot 1 versus 49 spot 1. That might be why we're moving higher. Okay. That really sucks that I went long. What price did it take me long at? 25. It wasn't a big enough number to have traded it like that.
Block buy.
What? Wow. That sucks. I have been all over the world. We have it pretty good, though. No, Norway has a lovely way of white life. Denmark, Sweden, and the Netherlands could be emulated. Village life and good schools. They're very different countries, all right. I mean, the thing is it's not wrong to sit down and say, oh, there's things in the United States policies that we could change that would improve things and make things better. Like that's totally okay. I just think that it's a little silly to be running around saying, oh, this economy is so terrible and it's not working for the vast majority of Americans from your iPhone, you know? Well, I'm really pissed that I missed that trade at 27.5. Oh, fuck. Okay. I enjoyed Tulsi Gabbard attacking Kamala in the debates. I did too. The populist Ava person that caused so much misery to our country. Love her. My closest friend is very religious. While I'm not loved to compare her biblical stories, children's stories like The Lion King, we are learning. Okay. I don't know. Anyways, I missed a trade there. Missed two. You got to be fast with this, man. By the way, the construction spending number was negative one spot 3 versus spot 5. Dang it. Just a lot of rotation here. Sorry, I see there's a ton of comments there, but I just don't think I'm in the mental mode to respond to a bunch of stuff right now. Oh, man. Okay, well, that was a better uptick. I'm an observer of the constitutional process, not taking sides, but I will vote. What the women around you are all saying about the elections. Will they vote? Well, I think that, you were kind of touching on that last night when, um, and I think it's a very important observation. Women have had the vote for a very, very long time, but it has only been this recent generation where there's been a large number of single women out there and women out there with in political office. And so even though women have had the ability to vote for a long time, they haven't really been their own independent constituency with power. And now they are. And I think what we're finding is that changes the political process considerably, and we don't really understand what the implications of that are. But one thing that we can see very, very clearly is that they view the current political situation in the United States very differently from the way that men do, don't they? And it seems to me that the women are not too happy about what's going on right now. And I'm sure that they probably will vote, but on their own as a constituency, they're not. There has to be other coalitions to push things their way, and I don't know. I think people can still be convinced on things. I like that iceberg at 25. Man, some strong bids there. And that time they pulled, actually. Che Guevara is an icon? Yeah. It's crazy to me that people wear Che Guevara shirts and stuff. Like, listen, I am extremely anti-communist. Like, I'm like, make a list of the communists in your area because just in case you are not safe. You know what I mean? Not trying to encourage violence or anything like that. I'm just saying have contingencies. And they come back and forth there quite a few times, but the way that it bids up when they tick up is pretty encouraging. Have to say this is pretty brutal trading so far, and I've been on the wrong end of it too many times today. It would be nice to finally catch a lucky break. But I did get, this was, remember, this is the golden signal right here. This long. 24. It's unfortunate that I didn't get the right price, but that's the golden signal. I want to hold this. No, I would not travel to South America right now. I would go to certain places. Trade smaller sizes so the loss is not so emotional. The key is making sure the winners outweigh the losses. Position sizing is creating stress, then lower expectations of trading now and focus. You know, well, I can't really make it go down, unfortunately. But I don't think it's the size that's stressing me out. I think it's just the volatility of the market that's stressing me out. So in this kind of a situation, you know, what can you do? Well, you can just sit on the sidelines and wait for things to calm down. But I also think that there's something to, you know where your edge is, and you just play your edge. And that's what I'm doing right now. And it's kind of just, to me, it's practice in managing your emotions, I mean, this trade is working out. It makes me nervous as hell, but this trade is working out. And until I see an exit signal, I'm supposed to stay in it. So I will do that. Because otherwise, if I start overthinking that and being like, well, I'm too scared and I shouldn't be doing this, and then you trade differently and you miss the big opportunities. I mean, the fact that I am nervous, I think is a signal to me that that there's good opportunity here. Your edge has about 40 more years than my edge. Well, I've only been doing this for about 3 years. So, and realized that I made pretty significant changes to my trading strategy in the last week. So, and this is exactly the kind of areas where those changes were intended to help. So, I think that part of what I'm going through right now is a little bit of PTSD. You know what I mean? So I don't like that for me to get my win that I need to get a new high. I might just take it off right here. If it's given me enough. Did it give me enough here? No, it never quite did. There's been some strong interest on this up move, though. I think that construction spending number seemed to upset them. Okay, so there's another downtick. USD JPY now 100 pips from the session highs. Yeah, the JPY is still pushing. Trade live account. Yeah, well, and the other thing is you can always go to Sim. Crap. So that was a turn without a clear signal, basically. Could still go higher. It actually hasn't drawn another die yet. So and PTSD, I understand. If you take your combat boots and run naked into the general's office, I know what to do. Oh man, I needed that one. Ace trades, that sounds amazing. I would put my ashes into a reef ball and take into sea foam to form a coral reef. There you go. You know what was something I read the other day? This is kind of vague, so we should go and try and search for this afterwards. But I remember reading a story that, yes, coral reefs are dying all over the ocean because the oceans are getting warmer. But what's happening is new reefs are forming in new places that have better temperatures. And so the corals have the ability to travel large distances and will grow where the conditions are favorable. And I thought that was very reassuring. It's my tendency. I'm like I said, I'm a disagreeable person, you know. So like when we hear, okay, climate change is like an existential threat to the human race. When I hear something like that, immediately my red flag goes off and says, that sounds like mass hysteria to me. That sounds like hyperbole. It's probably not true. But when I go in and look at the data, it does appear to me that there has been some global warming and that a good portion of it is probably due to human activity. So you can't deny that. But it's when they take it beyond that then I start to have problems, because it's like the things that they say are going to happen because of that global warming are not supported by the like we just went through there earlier. Andrew Yang says you should move. You should move because we can't stop the seas from rising. But the data that I have says that worst case scenario, we're going to rise about a foot in the next 100 years. And that's not enough to get anybody moving. Okay, that was a really big bid that just showed up there. How did that just show up? That just showed up. Anyways, and some of the solutions that I see proposed, I think that those are like kind of seem a little off kilter and might not necessarily do anything. You know, it's just like that. And I would prefer to be hopeful. And so to hear things that kind of reinforce the idea that life will go on and that we have the ability to adjust to things and that it's not the end of the world, that I like that. I like to hear that. You don't want to get caught in confirmation bias or anything, but consider the effect of rising heat on rice. That will strip the protein layers and rice will not be as nutritional. Ah. Well, they've been saying that because there's more carbon dioxide in the air, that the plants, there was a Veritasium video on this. He's a YouTuber. Basically, plants, when there's more carbon dioxide, plants grow faster. But when the plants grow faster, they don't absorb as much nutrients and nutritional content. And so basically our food is not as nutritious because of the extra carbon dioxide in the air. And that doesn't sell news. Yeah, exactly. Really is. I really think that There's a good number of people out there, and I don't know how to identify if you're one of those people, but there's a lot of people out there that spend too much time on social media and read too much into news headlines and, aren't necessarily catching when the news is just clickbaiting them. And, if you're a paper that wants to attract the liberal type of person, one of the ways that you're going to get people to click on your story is to say the world is going to end because of climate change shit. They just flipped it on us. Two trades there, two really good trades that I wasn't able to get the right exit on. Well, that's okay. Let's see what it does here. I wonder if they're going to find balance here. Asking again, what do you think your edge is? So I am looking for locations where there is a high degree of rotation and there's a good chance that based on the price action, one side is going to get stuck on the wrong side of it. So what just happened right there was I saw a buy, and it's a really good one, right? We came back, here's a pullback. You can see the higher interest in it. So there's a lot of people trying to make trades here. And of course it worked out. But then when you came up here, there was a lot of spikes coming in. So it's kind of hard to know where to take it off. This sort of thing tends to get you 4 to 8. That time it turned back. I think that happens. So that's totally okay. What just happened there was we came back into that location and I saw an extreme change in the level 2. And you can see that we're getting another interest area as well. One that I can't, it's a potential trade, but I don't see a clear indication of which side is going to lose, so I'm not going to take it. But that's why I got out, was because I immediately saw the guy flip it on me. So I was like, okay, well, there's the exit signal. Oh well, but I got +1. That's okay. The problem here was on some of those were very counter trend kind of trades, and I probably it took 2 before the news, right? I shouldn't have taken both of those. Then the other thing was I had that buy after the news at 25. That gave me -3. And that one doesn't necessarily have edge. That one I'm still testing, so yeah. I don't know, does that answer the question? I guess if the question is what's like your defined edge, I have a pretty clearly defined area where I want to make a trade. And we tested it for 2 weeks. We got some stats. And now we're forward testing it this week. There appears to be some edge and some good edge in these adjustments, but today it just didn't work out for me. And a lot of that is my fault. Ketchup is best on scrambled eggs. I like to put I like to put salsa on my eggs. Not every day, but see, I think that this one is going to reverse up, but I can't tell. It's a little too constrained and choppy in this location. Well, there you go. So just the way that that's ticking at 26 is still questionable. Okay. She made the world's best potatoes, really? So what do you do to the hash browns to make them so good then exactly? What's the secret? Tell us your secrets. And it's okay. You probably shouldn't share your hash brown making edge with us. See that right there? If I had taken that one, I think I'd be getting out here. Just that might not be the right thing, but the way that it's been behaving is okay, you took it. It's like you got two off of it. You're done. You know? And it's not showing more momentum. Maybe we should be getting out. But then I sit back and I say, yeah, but could keep going, right? Like, that was the problem. Which one was the one? It was like at 23, I think it was. When was that when we were at 23? Yeah, it was. We sold it at 23 at 744, right? Open. Yes. Here it was. I sold it at 23 right there. And it got two ticks. And it went into a zipper. And then it reversed. And it didn't really give us any indication that it was going to do that. So. Wait, what? My superpower is potatoes. What does that say about where I stood in line when the gifts and talents were handed out? Oh, man. We will tell you how Seth trades if you give us potato recipe. Well, I've already explained. I will post my favorite potato recipe on his page when he uploads this. So if you scroll down the page, you should see the comments at the bottom. Like, I think you can already comment on the video. Maybe I'm the only one that sees that, but I'm pretty sure that you can scroll down and put comments in right now. But that's the place to do it, because when the comments that you do in the live chat, you can see them afterwards, but you would have to watch the video to that point to be able to see it. But if you put it in the comments at the bottom, people see that immediately. YouTube algorithm picks up on it. It makes a big difference. And commenting on a video helps, like when Wrong and IQ and Lucas posts a couple of comments. Like anytime that those guys come and comment on a video, it boosts it significantly. Like, you can immediately see YouTube sending people to the video. I'm seeing a 33-second delay on your broadcast feed here. That's interesting. So sometimes if it gets delayed, you can refresh the page and it can sync up at a different spot, because your keyframes might be... I don't know how that happens. Another thing is that the Twitch tends to be a little bit faster. But I've been wondering that. It seems like YouTube has been slowing down a bunch. Now that it's 8:30, I don't think I can take another trade. That sucks. People do watch the uploads on live streams and then chat. Some people want the information and need to process it later because the chats are busy and it's hard to listen to everything. Yeah. Well, and while I was there in that trade and I was focusing on that trade and you guys were having a conversation and I hope that you guys were good talking to each other because I couldn't keep up with you guys. So you're saying that you don't see the thing. So let me see here. So I'm going to show you what I've done in the past and that I think I should be able to do it. youtube.com/speculatorsf. Okay, it's live right now. So here's the video. What has the right time and everything like that. There's comments right there. See? So if I add a comment, and say I had a difficult time with my edge, but it was still okay if I had been able to see exits and catch every trade.
Block
So
by.
comment that. Block by again. Good grief. Comment. And then you can see it. So can you not? You can't see that? Okay, so Win asks an important question. What do you look for in the afternoon trades? The same patterns or different? Don't trade afternoon. At least not in treasuries. Man, that's just going. I'm so mad. I exited and here it gave you another one, but I feel really FOMO today. Anyways, when the London markets close, stop trading, is my opinion. The order flow in the afternoon session, really after that point, is completely different. And unless there is an FOMC or a beige book or an auction going on, there is not good opportunities. And I've had a difficult time making trades off of that. There's usually good stuff for an hour after I stop streaming. So like until 11:30 Eastern time. Really, you could go till 12 Eastern time. But once lunchtime hits in New York, I say call it a day. It's not giving you a reversal this time. Sucks. Like I read it right. See right here, 24 was the buy. Okay. Came back. I got out. There's maybe I got out of that one too early. We need to go back here. We need to start here we go. I need to come over and take my notes. Can you believe that move up, right? Okay, what's Win asking? How do you get paid? I do not need bank details, just the idea of how can I bring paying customers to the site as a paying customer. So anytime that people comment on a video, that really helps us grow the channel. And that's the thing that we're focusing on to try and grow our community. Here's the thing. I used to do raves, and in the rave scene, there's really this idea of mainstream versus the underground. And there's advantages of both, right? Being popular is really nice, but it's hard to have an intimate experience when you're popular, And so for when we stream, I'm okay with not being incredibly popular because, when everybody's talking, it can be hard to follow everybody. And we're really only interested in people that want to trade the market, So anytime that you comment on a video, it helps, but we don't need to be going viral or anything like that, right? So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is if you haven't checked out the Patreon, you should check out the Patreon. So what I do is I have a cryptocurrency valuation model that I developed that attempts to predict when Bitcoin is overbought and oversold. Now, it's been saying that Bitcoin has been overbought for quite some time, and it is behaving quite unusually right now, but there's a lot of unusual stuff going on in the Bitcoin market, and the Bitcoin market may be getting manipulated illegally right now. So I still believe in the indicator, but we've traded with it, and we've made some good investments in the cryptocurrency market using that model. So if you go to the Patreon, I post that chart every day. And if you're a $5 a month subscriber to the Patreon, then you get to see that chart that day. And then the public gets to see it a week later when it's not really as useful to you. But we do that so that you can go back and you can look at the chart yourself and say, oh, yeah, there is something to this, right? So if you really want to help out, doing the Patreon would be the thing that would... The Patreon and commenting on videos are the things that help me out the most. But honestly, really, guys, if you just come in here and you interact with me, that makes me happy enough. Just being here is... I'm grateful for all you guys and all you guys that come in every day. Who we got? I mean, I think we got all the regulars in here. Uzi, Ace, Wrong, Lucas, Now Win. I haven't seen Algo today. Who else? Did we miss anybody? Oh, John. John comes in occasionally. Really, you gotta give a special shout out to John, because if I could consider anybody a mentor, it would have to be John. I learned so much from John. And he's been a good friend, and we program together, and it's fun. Oh yeah, Dojo comes in every day. I'm just scrolling up here, making sure I don't miss anybody. IQ, did I already mention IQ? Anyways, so yeah, you don't necessarily have to do anything. I mean, and the thing is, do we find our own broker, or is that part of your Patreon network? No, I really wish that brokers gave you some way to like refer people, because I would totally do that. I'm trying to get a referral thing from Jigsaw, but I keep forgetting to message them. And last time I messaged him, he didn't respond. But he said that you can get a referral link for Jigsaw. If you plan on buying Jigsaw, go into the Discord and post something in the platforms and brokers channels, because you can get like a $15 discount from that. From brokers, I use, my gosh, I can't believe this is still going. And did that give us a buy signal there? It did. I'm just wondering. I mean, that was after 8:30, so I can't take it, but I'm just looking at this and I'm like, I could have, if we had kept going, we could have easily have come out positive today. It feels bad, man, because the opportunity was there. Now JV says thanks. Yeah, it is great. I'm really glad that I met JB. What was I saying? Oh yeah, brokers. So I use AMP Futures is who I use. I would also suggest looking into the NinjaTrader brokerage. Honestly, if you're just starting out and you don't have any software, you can download NinjaTrader 8 for free, and that's probably the place that I would start. And then also Tradeovate is good, I hear. So I hear. And then Stage 5 trading is also good. So those are the people that I would look at for brokers. Lucas is like, wow, we are seeing 128. It's crazy, right? I'm not sure I can explain what's going on right now. Well, no way, I can't explain what's going on right now. People are buying the 6J and it's not stopping. I can't explain how I was able to have such a good position and fuck it up, but if we had just held on to that trade for long enough, we could have gotten a half. You notice though that at the peaks that it's not giving us signals. This time it's giving us a signal. He's giving us signals at the low. I guess that one was maybe a high that I could have taken it off at, but this thing right here, I'm telling you what, guys. Ba-boom. Right? Pullback. Increased activity after the pullback. That is a golden signal. I've yet to see that one fail. Doesn't happen every day. Maybe happens once a day. Anyways. What did Ace say? This is a hard skill to pick up over charts. I would be more than willing to do a phone call or something and talk easier. Yeah. Anyways, the other thing, as I was saying, in terms of what I'm doing, just remember, although there's a bunch of filtering and, a little bit of advanced programming that I don't want to go into, because I don't know, maybe I sell this indicator at some point or something. But it's pretty simply, it's showing us when people are putting orders out. And so if you just had the DOM and you didn't have this, the signal is when things are flickering a lot, that's when you look for the trade. When things are flickering a lot, you see the location that they're at, and then based on what the market orders and stuff that you're seeing, we determine which side is going to win. That's how I take the trade. Definitely, Dave. How much can we price in? Says Peter in Discord. It's really insane to me. So anyways, let's post the Patreon notes. There have been stories throughout the years of some little housewife stashing her pennies and surprising her family with riches. I have a vivid imagination. Who knows? I'm telling you, one of my favorite traders that we ever had in here, and I haven't seen her for a long time. Maybe she stopped trading, but when we started out here with the Discord, before we actually had the YouTube, started out as a Discord, and there was a lady named Fran, and I think she was actually even a little older than you, Win, and she was really good. She was really good. There are certain things that I think women have advantages in. Now, the disadvantage is going to be that women don't know when to push it. But their approach to risk management is a big benefit in scalping. And I think that more women should try to do it. Oh, I have to generate the chart first before I can post it. If anything is true about trading, always lower your expectations when starting. Yeah. And we were kind of discussing that yesterday. Like, I can't stress this enough. Futures trading is hard, and you might see a little bit of success as a beginner, but what you are going to find is that it is going to take years, literally years of conscious effort to get good enough to feel comfortable about how consistent you are. I think today was a little bit of a learning experience. I don't think that I'm as focused today as I should be. That was maybe why I missed some of those trades. Still learning some things about some situations that I should pay attention to, but it still really sucks that I came out -4 today, because there was some good opportunities, and I had it all right. You know, it was I'm the wild card in this situation right now, right? I think that the edge worked exactly the way that it was supposed to, and even though it wasn't super great up through here, because it was mostly giving you shorts, but once you flipped around to longs from over here, it was great. It was great. Rung says every time I take profit, they tick it down. It's kind of funny that this is like turning into a buy all the things. How high are we compared to... We're not at yearly high, are we? No, we're not at a yearly high. So where we're at today is not necessarily crazy in the larger context. It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense as to why it's moving, other than that the 6J is just really correlated for some reason. And we did see, after the 8 o'clock news, by the way, did you see that the big orders showed up? Studies of primitive peoples reinforce the idea that social interactions are central to how humans gather information and make decisions. Ethnologists have found that almost all decisions affecting groups as a whole are made in social situations. Major exceptions during battles or other emergencies when extremely rapid decision making is required. Yeah. I think there's really something to... I think the trading rooms can be helpful as long as you're not using it as a signal. It's a tendency evolved in humans because pooling ideas from many different people give you an advantage. Yeah. I can't believe that they're still moving. You know, the thing that's wild to me is that they had that 8-tick move up and then a 7-tick move down, and then they had a 12-tick move up. That's extremely volatile action. Extremely volatile. Should check on Bitcoin here before we post things. Just make sure we're still in the same spot, right? Yeah, still in the same area. Okay, I'm going to type some stuff here. Okay. Well, I'm still butthurt that I missed that. They were like, haha, Seth is gone. Now we can buy it. Ah, man. Still going. So, normally I would think that this is like a trend day. But when it's moving like that, it's moving with quite it's a very forceful. It's not like a bunch of people short it and then it comes back and it runs over them and then they do it again and then they do it again. No, these buyers are just buying it and they're just buying it, and that I think has a higher probability of flipping on us. So we'll see where it goes. So far, though, I'm going to say, and what would be the probability on that? I would say it's maybe 50-50. It's either a trend day or a reversal day, you know? Central bankers will have to cut rates. Is that forceful? I don't know. Like, the thing is that's so weird is like, what has happened that increases the chances that they're going to cut rates? I don't see it. Tomorrow, that inflation number will matter. I don't know. It's kind of weird, though, isn't it? I guess another thing we should keep in mind is that it is the first day of the month, and they do tend to buy, and that might be part of why it's moving too. And can you do a shout out for my wife? She just walked on. Hi, Ace's wife. Can she hear you play it on like the speaker? You shouldn't play me on speaker, dude. That sounds dangerous. I would wear headphones. Just if it was me, I would wear headphones. Coin toss 50-50 and each toss has the same odds. Yeah, I think so. But that's where I'm saying it's like to me, like there's like 5 possibilities, right? There's the range bound day, there's the double distribution day, there's the trend day, and there's the reversal day. And I'm saying based on this action, it's really likely that it's either going to be a trend day or a reversal day. Ace Trades shouts out to Miss Ace Trades herself. We should get together. I need to think about when. I need to flatten my lawn this week. What is going on now that we're past? Yeah, you were on headphones most of the time, but she walked in and I thought it would be funny. She got all embarrassed. What? Why would that be embarrassing? Why? Now I need to go back over here. Hold on. That's my Facebook. I need a visual picture, you know? Yeah. 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 There's a couple of pictures of you with older ones, so I can't tell which one is the wife, but doesn't seem like. Whatever. You're on the internet. She worried you could see her. Oh, I gotcha. The deer flatten our yard, and the skunks and the otters and the bears that everyone keeps seeing. She has brown hair and wearing blue. She have short brown hair? Kind of looks. This one with the short brown hair, I'm like, she kind of looks familiar. We must have known each other in the pre-Earth life. I don't know. What happens on Facebook stays on Facebook. Yeah, I'm not going to show. No, I need to get like the big roller thing and flatten out the dirt in the yard now that we've put the sod out. I have a Band-Aid over my camera lens, too much time in special ops. Yeah. I mean, I pretty much assume that if you're in this room, you're being monitored. If sometimes when I'm in my car, like the Bluetooth on my phone will get interrupted by something, and I always think, oh, that's the CIA listening in. And so I'll start talking to them. That's when I'll like practice. I'll like practice a rant or something like that I want to talk about. And yeah. But then I always think, you know, if I were to redo my house, I would redo it by putting like chicken wire in all the walls. Except for like one room where you need 4G, but everywhere else it would be like, you know, make sure that the FBI can't hear in. Probably just on the external walls so that the Wi-Fi stays within. Something like that. The NSA sends the FBI over at night to take my post it off my camera if I cover it. Hey, Algo, there you are. We were wondering where you were. I'm wondering if Algo had some of these upside targets on here. Man. Well, it's almost 9 o'clock. I gotta go, and I posted my notes and everything. We still need to go over these trades. That's what I was thinking. Okay. Journal queue. So I need to put in the one that was a, man, it's so hard to see what is what. This one right here, but that happened at 8 o'clock. This was news. Okay. This one was a reversal. A reversal. I think all of these were reversals, weren't they? This one was, oh no, these ones. Okay, yeah, reversal. This one we don't care about because it was the E-mini. Yeah, reversal. And then that one. Yeah, reversal. Yep, I think that's right. Save. NSA flags, code words. You should be careful about how they joke. We used to get calls in the middle of the night to report aliens. Those colors were often wore aluminum hands. Don't get me started on the hat thing. So we used to have the joke about when those guys in where was it, Cuba or wherever the embassy was, were getting hit by some sort of microwave device, and we were saying, well, maybe with the way to protect yourself would be a tinfoil hat. But then it turned out to be something different, I think. Could we see the birds sometime? I will go Googling and learn more. So if you want to see the birds, watch the video on my channel called An Introduction to Futures Trading. And I have the birds on me the whole time. Both of them. And another one, by the way, you guys have been leaving some comments on the top trading books. Really helps. That video has gotten into a good spot. If you haven't left a comment on there, and that would be one to look at because you were recommending a couple of books, and granted those weren't necessarily trading things, but that would be a good place to put those for people. And the more comments we can get on that video, the better. This thing is just churning higher. Wow. I feel so left out. I need to just walk away. I need to stop watching it. It's just going to make me feel bad about myself. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Stay profitable.